Hello and welcome back. My name is Patrick. You're watching Patrick's. As you saw, today we are going to be installing an Akrapovic exhaust. I'm really excited to put it on. The Akrapovic exhaust alone is supposed to help significantly with power, and we're going to be testing that by doing a 0 to 60 and seeing just how much we improved from our initial 0 to 60. It's actually not going to be our initial 0 to 60. I did a follow-up 0 to 60 I didn't show in the last video, and we're going to be timing that one because I think I was a little slow on the timing of that first 0 to 60. I think it came out to 23 seconds exactly by my time. I think that was on me. I think I might have timed it a little poorly. And then we also got a Malossi O2 sensor. Now, I'm interested to see if we can actually tell a difference with that O2 sensor. It's supposed to allow the fuel injection system to run a little bit richer while not going too overboard. I really wish it would let us go a little overboard, but we're going to be doing the 0 to 60 with just the Akrapovic exhaust, which the iJet system should be able to run appropriately without running too lean, but I'm interested to see if we can actually notice the Malossi O2 sensor improving the power or acceleration output at all. Let's just get into it, start banging away. First things first, install the exhaust. From what I see, it's fairly simple, plug and play. So let's get into it. 6mm, I think that is. These outside bolts, just gonna loosen these. Getting those exhaust manifold bolts are kind of a pain. You kind of need a pivoting head. It's just a pain, and I believe if I remember correctly, and I can tell because there's copper residue, it's a 10mm nut. We're gonna be replacing the exhaust gasket when we do the big bore kit. I think like every 5 or 6 times you remove the exhaust, you want to replace that copper gasket, the exhaust manifold gasket. We've removed it like 3 times so far, but when we do that big bore kit, the Malossi big bore kit, instead of transferring over the gasket, we have a new copper exhaust manifold gasket. I haven't noticed a leak or anything like that. I'm not sure I'd know what to look for. This is a pain to try to show, so. That's the second one up here on the more left-hand side. I guess the outside is harder to get. And I almost rounded it. Maybe one day I'll be able to afford a motorcycle jack and we can get some better images. Yeah, I loosened it. Alright, that outermost nut was concerningly loose. So we reuse those bolts. Should order a second pair of those because they look rounded over the outer edges of one of them, just a little. And then the other thing I always forget to do, we have to detach the O2 sensor from inside. I've lost both of these bolts here, and I don't know where. But this is the O2 sensor connector, and this is where the Malossi O2 sensor will it'll intercept these two right here. That's how it affects the fuel injection system. But you just gotta unplug that because that's attached to the O2 sensor right down there, and when you pull the exhaust, that'll come out with it. Listen, I am getting quicker at this, and I'm remembering some things that I had the first 3 times I disassembled this thing. Now, all the pressure is on this last bolt right here. And I'm doing this a little awkward because I don't want to just totally block you guys. And I believe the Malossi kit comes with new hardware for these bolts right here. And then you want to kind of rock it forward. It is in the exhaust at an angle, and you can see I've kind of stuck it up a few times. But it's that angle that makes it a pain. Now, we have to remove this O2 sensor because we're going to be reusing that as well. My wrench set goes up to 21 millimeters. It's larger than that. I guess maybe I could. So I guess it's like a 7/8. I'm sure it's actually metric. Let's see. I'm going to try. I don't want to break it again. I'm not reusing this exhaust at all. I'm not too concerned. Whew, it was on there pretty tight. Is this, doesn't look like terribly black. I think that's good. I'll put up the numbers, but this exhaust is super heavy. I think you save like at least 7 pounds off the bat by just replacing it, but I'll put the exact numbers down below. We're just gonna reinstall the O2 sensor. There's nothing really, like, it's being attached. I'm not too concerned about that coming undone, but I am going to just very loosely attach this in there. Keep in mind, I'm gonna try to wipe this down before we actually turn it on. When you touch it and get grease on it and it burns, it will stain your pipes. Not that it really matters, but part of this pipe is not just the sound and the performance, but also looks significantly better. I hate the little dongle at the end of the stock exhaust. What is that? There's just a little dongle that comes out the end. Why'd you do that, Vespa? What's that dongle for? If anyone knows what that dongle's for, let me know in the comments down below. Let me loosely attach this back in. You can see there's still a lot of play. So it comes with 5 flat washers. Oh no, it comes with 6 flat washers. So I guess the crush washer was unnecessary. That's what they included, so that's what I'm gonna use. This is the bracket. Bracket goes right here. The exhaust sits here. Robot suggested anti-seize. I don't have any anti-seize. I'll pick some up later today and I'll remove it, throw a bit more on. But he suggests putting anti-seize so that the actual slip-on exhaust doesn't seize up to this. I think it's a good idea. There's a significant size difference. I think the factory area which you had to go through was significantly larger. These are 12 mil sockets. This is not a how-to, guys. I wanted to show you what I'm doing. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm following Robot's video on Scooter West, VespaMotorsports.com. They're great. I use them for everything. I order all my parts there, almost all my parts. There's a few things that sometimes they're just out of stock on, or a few of the Malossi stuff that I ordered directly from Malossi. I don't think they sell on their site. I want to give you guys a quick update on that as well. I ordered a few things directly from Malossi's website that I just couldn't find on Scooter West. I didn't really check many other US-based sites. I ordered the shocks front and rear from SIP, and Scooter West does actually provide that. Both are great retailers. I've been using Scooter West for the past 4 years that I've owned this. They're super quick, they're super helpful, so I'd like to keep using them. They're not a sponsor, guys, so don't get me wrong. I just really appreciate the videos that they let out and all their products, but I didn't realize they do have the Batubo shocks on scooterwest.com. Just be aware if you're looking for them for your Sprinter Primavera. It says on the page when you're looking at them, it starts off as GTS for the front shock, at least, because I guess they share the same shock. But if you click on it and you look to Scooter Fit, it'll show you, if you're on the right one, that it also fits the Sprints and Primavera. So just be aware, just because, and that being said, that could have been for the Malossis too, now that I'm saying that. But back to what I was saying, I ordered a bunch of stuff directly from Malossi out of Italy. There was a bit of a language barrier, and I've ordered now. It's been almost 2 weeks since I've ordered. I ordered on a Thursday. On Friday, they let me know that I needed to give them my exact engine number. Now, they're Italian. I believe they're using Google Translate. There was a bit of a trouble communicating. I was confused in terms of exactly what they were looking for, and what they were asking me for was the actual number that's on the crankcase cover. They deal with a whole bunch of different scooters and performance stuff, so they might not know exactly where it is on the Primavera. But it was on the crankcase. They reached out to me Friday that they needed the exact engine. I told them it was the 22 Primavera iJet 150, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't enough. They needed that number. So by the time I figured that out, it was the following Monday, 9 days ago. Since then, they said the order was confirmed. I have yet to hear anything about shipping. I don't believe it's shipped yet, which just compared to SIP, ordering directly from SIP and Scooter West, they ship in like a day or two. Super fast turnover. But I'll keep you guys updated. I'm a little frustrated by it. As of now, I've yet to hear anything. I reached back out yesterday to ask, what their lead time is for actually shipping it. I haven't heard back, which is a bit of a pain, but it is what it is. I'm gonna just slip this on. Oh, I'm a little nervous about waiting to put on the anti-seize. I'm just gonna pray, guys. Pray for me. I need it. Insanely tight. The twisting motion helped. That's cool. I gotta push on just a little bit more, loosening these a little bit. There's no good way of showing you. You don't really need to see anything. I'm just trying to thread these bolts into the back here. All right, so now that these are all loosely on, I'm gonna start with tightening the exhaust manifold bolts again. The exhaust manifold bolts are tightened. Why would they put the bolts in the back? Like, that just seems, wouldn't you want the bolts out here? Wouldn't that be easier? I don't know, guys. I'm not an engineer. You know what I didn't do, guys? I didn't do the exhaust sound beforehand. From what I hear, this is significantly louder. There is a decibel reducer, whatever it is, in here, which is removable. That being said, one of the things I like about the Vespa so much is how quiet it is. It's actually really nice to be able to ride this thing around all day and not have like your ears ringing or have to put on earplugs, because I ride with earplugs on my motorcycle. I just do. Call me an old man or whatever you want. I like my hearing, and I want to be able to hear for a while. One of the nice things about the Vespa is that I can ride around with just a 3/4 helmet on and not go deaf. My ears aren't ringing, none of that stuff. So I'm interested to see just how loud this is. I know with the decibel reducer out, it's very loud, and I really don't want it to be that loud. Like, the sound could be better for sure from stock, but I don't want it to be crazy loud. Last thing to do, guys, is put on these hooks. Now, this is how I've seen them do it. I think they generally do it with a screwdriver. Holy crap! Oh god, I don't think I'm gonna find that. That was almost bad, guys. I had totally lost that. Let me try it this way. Alright, just do it that way, guys. Yep, let's do it that way. Do that on the other side. Last thing to do, reinstall the O2 sensor. Alright, throw this back on. From what I see, these are just self-tapping screws. I'll go to Home Depot when I'm picking up that anti-seize and just pick up a few different sizes. I mean, it's probably 10 cents. But this is held on by this right here, so there's no real way for it to come up. Now it's time to see how it sounds, guys. It's all put back together. I'm excited. Alright, let's see how it sounds. Primed. I'm excited. No check engine light. So it definitely sounds deeper. It sounds bassier than the stock muffler for sure. Definitely louder, but not crazy. It is a little bubbly. There's just a bit of a bump, kind of popping sound. I don't think we can really get around that with a 150cc single cylinder engine. I'm not sure there's anything we can do about that other than just get a larger motorcycle. Let's hear it one more time. Shooting some pebbles, guys. So here's what I think we'll do right now. I think we'll go take this for a test drive, see if any check engine lights pop up, which they shouldn't. Everything was installed properly. We'll go take this for a test ride. We'll do a 0 to 60. Then we'll come back here. We'll install the Malossi O2 sensor. It should still help with this Akrapovic exhaust. So the idea behind the aftermarket exhaust for performance, for those of you who don't know, is less back pressure. Oftentimes, because of emissions standards, sound standards, for legal reasons, there's higher back pressure on factory mufflers. For factory bikes, the muffler's there to pass emission, pass smog, and pass sound. That's what it's there for. It's usually not tuned for performance. There's exceptions, obviously, but they do still have to work within those parameters. So the main thing with an aftermarket exhaust is higher airflow through the exhaust. With that means less back pressure in the exhaust stroke of the engine, which for whatever reason, and I don't know the exact specifics of it, means generally that the engine will run leaner, which means that more air is going in because of that lower back pressure, I guess. More air can go in and more fuel then needs to go in to make sure it's not running lean. Rich means higher fuel, lean means less fuel, more air. There's a sweet spot for every engine. Generally, when you're running lean, you're going to be running hotter than is good for the engine. And running rich is also not good. Less fuel efficient. I think it's worse for emissions, and I think you can gum up the spark plug and stuff like that, as well as the O2 sensor. Let's go take this for a quick test ride. All right, guys, we are back. I'm gonna try to save my opinions for the end of the video because I want to attach this O2 sensor kind of quickly and get back to it. As you can see, it's pretty cut and dry. Kind of put this right in the middle. Then we have to ground this wire, which I think I'll do on that clip right there. The engine's kind of warm. I don't think I'll burn myself. Just a single latch that attaches them. This one first. Alright. Push them together. They snap together pretty easily. So the only thing with this model, guys, is it'll now have to sit outside of this cocoon majority of this module. This O2 sensor works on a few different models, and depending on which one you have, there isn't this like little box that keeps them trapped. Snap these back in there. So guys, I'm going to attach the ground right here. I think it should be fine. They don't really have a clear area as to where it should go. It doesn't really need to go anywhere. It just, you don't want it to get caught on anything. And because of the bucket that sits in here, can't really go many places. With the bucket in, it shouldn't really be able to move. Hello and welcome back. So a few things. Before we do the final results, a few things I realized last night. The video I was watching on Vespa Motorsports where they were installing the aftermarket exhaust, I was watching the video of them installing the Malossi exhaust. When I watched the video of them installing the Akrapovic exhaust, basically everything was the same except for two things. Last night off camera, I went back and took off the slip-on part of the exhaust and put the anti-seize coating on it. It was such a pain to get that off. In Robot's video, there was a little plastic film on the inside, which makes it difficult to install, which might have been the reason why it was so difficult to install, and might have been the reason why it was so difficult to uninstall last night. I was hammering on it with the rubber mallet for like 20 minutes. It was terrible. But I got it off. There was no plastic left, but the second I put the anti-seize on and slipped it back on, it slipped on super easily. So I'm happy I did that. The second thing that was slightly different, I removed the baffles, and I'll show you guys in just a second. I didn't need a slide hammer to remove it. I don't know if they loosened the tolerances or what, but it was super easy to remove the baffle. And I'm keeping the baffle off, you guys. This sounds so good without the baffle, like way better than I thought it was going to. It's not stupid loud, but it makes it so much deeper, way deeper than I thought you could get from a little 155cc engine right here. Before we show the final result, we're gonna do one more test. And we have the Malossi high flow air filter, and we're going to throw that on. We're gonna throw that on, do one more 0 to 60. There was really no discernible difference between the exhaust with the O2 filter or without the O2 filter. To Two things though. From what I see, with the baffles in, you don't need to do any tune. The back pressure is apparently similar enough to where the ECU can handle adding a little bit extra fuel. But when you remove the baffles and or you put on a higher flow filter, the ECU is most likely not going to be able to compensate for that, and therefore your engine's going to be running lean. Really the only way we could test that is if I had like a temperature gauge and do like a long drive, and most likely the engine would be running hotter without the Malossi O2 sensor. But just from feel and speed and stuff, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. So this is the airbox right here, and there's 6 screws, 3 which you get from the outside, 3 which you get from the inside. They're all Phillips head, but the inside ones you can just unscrew by hand, or I could at least. And these are oiled. This is the stock one, and we have a Malossi one, so let me grab that. This is the Malossi air filter, and the Malossi one actually only says oil if you're riding in dusty conditions. Like, we're not riding on dirt roads, so I'm not going to oil it. I think it'll improve airflow a little bit. Guys, we're gonna be taking off this intake when we try to turbo it anyway. So let's see if I can slip this on without removing that. This is like a totally different media. No wonder this is higher flowing. Malossi branded. Foam isn't sticking out anywhere. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh. Let's attach this real quick. Put this back down, turn it on, and see if there's any codes. Give it a shot. So guys, I guess it is significantly louder. Guess it is significantly louder, but it sounds pretty good. It's like a super deep bass, which I did not think you could get out of a scooter like this. I guess Akrapovic knows what they're doing. Wrap this video up, do 2 quick 0 to 60s, average them out, and see if the high flow air filter made any sort of difference in the 0 to 60. The O2 sensor, I'm hoping, can do the job increasing the fuel to where it's not running lean, but we're going to be getting this Vespa tuned eventually anyway, once we finish the full build. So let's go see that 0 to 60 real quick. Alright guys, well the results are in, and they're a little surprising. 3, 2, 3, go. That was a much better start. I guess not that surprising. With the addition of the high flow filter, we were able to knock off an additional 0.51 seconds from our average with the exhaust only, the exhaust on the Malossi O2, plus the addition of the high flow filter, we were able to knock off another half second. We broke, on one of our runs, we broke 19 seconds for the 0 to 60, which I know is like ridiculous. It's 19 seconds to get to 60 on this thing, but it's a 150cc scooter with a CVT transmission. Alright guys, cut it some slack. The only aftermarket parts it has on it is this exhaust filter and the O2 module. So just looking at the fastest times, we were able to knock off over a second from all the mods. But if we're just looking at the fastest times, the difference is much less. Now it seems as though my first go on all of these is slower. The fastest with just the exhaust was 19.09 seconds. The fastest with the exhaust of the Malossi O2 modulator was 19 flat, and the fastest with the exhaust Malossi O2 and the Malossi high flow air filter was 18.9 seconds. So even if we're just looking at the fastest times, we still shaved a 1/10 of a second with no tuning, just the high flow filter. Cost per reward ratio, are these mods worth it if you're looking to get the fast acceleration? No. I think what we're going to be doing on the next video is probably cost effect going to be the best in terms of acceleration, and that's the Malossi CVT upgrade, which we're putting on. Now we have some other, the Malossi actually clutch and clutch bell, I think it's called, coming in. I finally heard back from Malossi It is supposed to ship by the end of the week. It doesn't actually ship directly from Malossi. There's like another store out of Italy that ships when you order from their website, so nothing against Malossi. So it'll be over 3 weeks, sure, not close to a month, if you guys are going to order directly from Malossi. I'm just way too impatient. I don't plan that far ahead. It's more than I'm willing to wait. I'm an impatient millennial. I have Amazon next day delivery. That's what I want. Also, guys, I was able to get this engine to backfire. Vespa backfiring? That's ridiculous. It seems like it is running a little bit lean on some of the RPM range. I can get it to backfire if I am decelerating downhill while giving it a little bit of throttle. Doesn't sound bad. It's a little ridiculous. Generally, that's a sign that it's running a little lean. It's only in that specific instance somewhere on the map, might not be getting quite as much fuel. Nothing at full acceleration or anything like that, but something to keep in mind. I think it's pretty funny having a Vespa that backfires. But a little obnoxious, probably a little bit lean. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below, was it worth all the money and effort to shave a second off our 0 to 60, barely breaking 19 seconds for 0 to 60? I don't know. Will it be worth it in the long run? Yes, I think all of this stuff is going to be necessary once we start doing the other mods we have planned. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you guys can stay up to date. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I'll catch you on the next one.